Hello and welcome to this week's episode of So, What's the Catch? The show where we give our takes on current events in sports and discuss a variety of topics in the sports world, ranging from the NBA to the NFL to the MLB to the NHL and even the UFC. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Because every Wednesday from 2 o'clock until 4, time to join us and find out, so, what's the catch?
And we are back here on allsportscleveland.net, live from $2 in Parma, home of the $2.
Hello, and we are not in Parma. We are in Independence at the Ohio Media School because, Parma's far away from here. I mean, not real far, but it'd be hard to get there, in the next 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes out.
If we had a teleporter, we could do it. But unfortunately, we don't. So we're here.
We might get one here in the Berserk box. Teleporter.
Yeah,
if you get a teleporter, let me know.
Yeah, we're going to go do some... but we are back. We're here. So what's the catch? We're starting off with some Stanley Cup playoff updates. Josh, take it away.
So the Islanders and Bruins are tied 1 game apiece after the Islanders defeated the Bruins 4-3 in overtime last night. I'm trying hard not to jump over to the table because after the Islanders defeated the Penguins, Kramer over here decided to switch his Stanley Cup champion pick from the Pittsburgh Penguins to the Boston Bruins.
All I know about this is I picked a team last week, and that team proceeded to get knocked out that night. So I decided, I just kind of went with it was kind of jokingly, honestly, but I don't even remember what team was it?
You picked the Boston Bruins.
Okay, well, go Bruins.
Is the team I picked still in it?
Yes, your Vegas Golden Knights are still in it, and they are playing my pick, the Colorado Avalanche.
Vegas!
Game 2 is tonight from Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. So you better hope the Golden Knights offense shows up because Vegas got spanked in Game 1, 7-1.
Hey, there's only one thing that matters. The series is 1-0. The score of the game doesn't matter.
You better hope Vegas' offense shows up.
Take one game at a time.
Yep. And the Maple Leafs playoff losing streak continues because they joined the Chicago Cubs and the Golden State Warriors in the 3-1 series lost column as they were up 3-1 against the Montreal Canadiens. They're one of their biggest rivals. And guess what? They lost. So they haven't won a playoff series since 2004.
So I've said before, I'm not a big hockey fan. And if you are listening to the show and you are like me and you're not a big hockey fan, luckily we have football coming up soon. So just relax for a second.
Yeah, we got every other sport. We're just getting the hockey out of the way first.
Yeah, but I wondered, because you said you were talking about the Vegas team. I wonder if hockey is that betted on a lot?
There's a betting community for hockey, like all sports. It's not as big as football or baseball or basketball, but there is a pretty active betting community.
I was just thinking that's one angle. If you're a sports fan and you're also somebody who bets, now would be a time. Well, you also have the NBA playoffs going on and everything else, but that would be one more thing.
Right. So we'll leave hockey there.
What I was going to get at though, last question, if there was going to be a betting favorite, who do you think would be the best at this point to win it all?
Well, Tampa is the defending Stanley Cup champion, and they're up 2-0 against the Carolina Hurricanes in their second round series.
What seed is Tampa?
They are a 3 seed.
Who's the 1 seed?
Carolina.
Then them.
All right, fair enough.
You choose the 1 seed?
Always choose the 1 seed. The 1 seed.
They're 1 seed first.
Yes,
Yeah,
Carolina.
Sometimes there's that 1 seed hype.
I'm going with the defending champions.
Yeah, Carolina. Except Carolina is down 2-0 in the series, and they just lost both games at home.
Well, I just wanted to get it on the record, get this out the way. So, all right, we have Josh saying, what was that?
The Colorado Avalanche.
And James is saying the call.
Vegas Golden Knights.
Vegas, come on.
I'm saying Vegas too.
Vegas, baby.
I'm just saying if they don't win.
And Church, you got Vegas.
Yeah, I'll go with Vegas.
I'm gonna take Vegas, man.
Nope, you already said Boston. You can't change.
He can change wherever he wants. He doesn't watch
Do
hockey.
you have
Yeah,
evidence
I don't
of
watch
this?
hockey at all.
Anyways, moving on.
Yes.
So,
Maybe a couple monster games.
so we also had the 105th Indianapolis 500, where Elio Castroneves got the win.
Oh God! So you went from hockey to
NASCAR.
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 Not NASCAR.
I swear I thought that was a car.
The racing.
NASCAR.
I understand your reasoning, but man, that was just a 1-2 punch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I heard
for me
Indianapolis,
too.
like,
It's IndyCar, actually, not NASCAR.
It was go to NASCAR now.
Well, I assure anybody listening that we do have football coming up
Yes.
at some point.
And
I
basketball.
actually have a football
And
quiz. I'm like really excited about. That's why I keep bringing it up.
Yes.
But okay, so what's your spiel about vroom vroom cars now?
So Castroneves got the win at the 105th Indianapolis 500, which it was his fourth win, which ties him with a few other drivers for the most wins ever at an Indy 500. There was 135,000 fans in the crowd, which is the most fans at a sporting event post-pandemic. And then you had the Coca-Cola 600, which is NASCAR, where Kyle Larson got the win. And then the UEFA Champions League. Yes, now we're switching to soccer.
wait, real quick. I just want to say this is a record. This is our 13th show, right?
Yeah.
This is the first time we've ever touched on vroom vroom cars.
Second time.
This is the second? When was the first?
Last week.
That's how immemorable that was. Like you literally don't even remember
Have
talking
we touched on
about it.
soccer before?
No. Yes, we touched on soccer. Super League.
Oh yeah, the
yeah.
failure of the Super League.
I will say this is the 13th episode, and that being an unlucky number, I guess it's only fitting that we open with hockey, vroom vroom cars, and then soccer.
Yeah.
Car racing will now and forever be known as vroom car.
All right. So we had the UEFA Champions League final where it was Manchester City against Chelsea. Chelsea got the win 1-0. And one last thing, which this was your story about AEW and their pay-per-view with Urban Meyer.
Well, okay, the reason I didn't want to do this story right here, but I understand why you put it here. And the reason I even bring that up was to lead into a football story.
To get some clarity, this is where he hands Chris Jericho the laptop, right?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Well, it was to lead into a football story, though, because my whole point with this segment, I can wrap it into one thing, is one question. What do you think of Urban Meyer so far? Because he's been just doing some things that if it was anybody else, a first-year coach coming in from college, you'd be scratching your head at, you know?
Yeah.
First of all, Tim Tebow had his first practice. And Urban Meyer himself came out and said in a press conference, they said, how do you look? He said he looked awkward. What do you want to know? And then he also had this wrestling match, what I didn't watch, but I was reading this story, and the next thing I see come up is Urban Meyer AEW, and I guess it was a Chris Jericho. You saw this, Jerk?
I saw it.
Yeah, I saw this.
So this was this was at Daly's Place, which is like adjacent to TIAA Bank Stadium where the Jaguars play. It was for AEW's pay-per-view on Sunday called Double or Nothing. It was a main event between the Pinnacle and Inner Circle, which are two factions in AEW. And if the Inner Circle lost, they would have to break up forever. So
It sounds like a soap opera to me.
That's what wrestling is. Wrestling is a soap opera for men.
It's an
That's what it
athletic.
is.
It's an athletic carnival.
An athletic soap opera.
No, an athletic carnival.
whatever you want to call it. But I just really enjoy watching it.
Yeah, but
Except for Monday Night Raw, because
I mean, it's fun. I liked wrestling when I was growing up, and I would still like wrestling if they had storylines like they did in the 90s.
yeah,
you know Mark Henry's now in AEW.
yes he is. Mark Henry is in AEW now. You've got Paul White, also known as The Big Show. You've had Christian Cage. They all have one thing in common.
It just feels like the new TNA, or actually TNA is like a whole different thing, but it feels like TNA from like the late 2000s when they had like a lot of old like ex-WWE wrestlers.
Yeah, but
going down there.
Mark Henry, Big Show, Christian Cage all have one thing in common. Before they went to AEW, they got booted by the Viper Randy Orton.
And I think Braun Strowman got released today.
Yes, he did, and many others.
You think he'll go to AEW?
I hope so. Speaking of WWE, though, they are going back to live shows starting July 16th from the Toyota Center in Houston. But more importantly, they're coming here to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse on July 23rd for Friday.
Can we just hit the Q, please?
Romo Fijo.
I call it the Romo Fijo. I sometimes call it the morgue when the teams are losing by 30. Or if it's hockey, if they're down by 5 goals. Yeah, so, what's the Cavs playing? Yeah, the morgue.
There's another Cleveland personality who's actually on right now, I think, but I'm not going to mention him because you should be listening to us. But the point is, I got that from him. I'll gladly give him that reference, but Romo Fijo, that's my shorthand for that.
I've also called it Romo Fijo, and I have no idea who else has been calling it that, so
I know
we're separate ideas.
Yeah. It started and then it kind of got spun around.
So tickets go on sale for Friday Night SmackDown, June 4th. You get to see Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, Big E.
Maybe. It's Cleveland.
It's Friday Night SmackDown.
But it's Cleveland.
It's not a big market. He might sit out that night and not show up.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. When I was younger, I actually had tickets for a WWF at the time, WWF event, and when I went there, nobody big name came. This was back in the 90s, a different time, but same idea. Like, no big names came, and I was wondering, like, when I got these tickets, I was all hyped up as a kid, and I wanted to see certain people, and when you went there, it was all the B list.
I went to a couple of the Raw shows. The only person I saw was Kane. That was it.
Well, speaking of B-list, that was kind of like our B-list. Well, that was our, I think we're going to call it like the hit list, where we usually like to hit these stories at the start. And we will be coming back here. What are you yelling, Chirk?
No, I was about to say, like, I've been to a WrestleMania and a Raw before.
I've been to Monday Night Raw, and I've been to WWE Fastlane.
I've only seen amateur wrestling. It was meh, but it was at like Comic-Con. But whatever. It was kind of cool. But like you said, we got to head to a break, and we come back, we're going to be talking about Danny Ainge and NBA playoffs.
You don't have to wait for politicians to make Ohio a...
You're listening to the flagship home of Lake County Captains Baseball. We are the talk of the land. AllSportsCleveland.com. Valley View, Cleveland.
Hello and welcome back to So What's the Catch? That was the hit list.
Here on All Sports Cleveland.
Here on All Sports Cleveland. Thank you, Chirk. And we are recording right now too, and I'll put this video up later on our Facebook. So if you're not on our Facebook, definitely go look up So What's the Catch and add us on there. But anyways.
Also, Twitter at So What's the Catch.
And Twitter at So What's the Catch. And also, well, if we're going to get all the plugs out, might as well get them all out. www.sowhat'sthecatchpodcast.wordpress.com.
And the Instagram page is still coming along, so
Just create an email.
It's not
That's all you just gotta do.
But anyways, that was our hit list, and we had a long one. As Josh was saying during the break, this was a particularly eventful weekend, and there was one more thing he wanted to hit on, and I think we were almost going to blow past it, but then AJ made sure to let me know what it was going to be. So far we have talked. I just want to make sure I got this right. So far we have talked hockey, racing, soccer,
and wrestling.
And now we are going to
horse racing.
Horse racing time.
Horse racing on the show?
It's not a bad story, honestly. I think I would have done this story earlier.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
It just came out today. So the Kentucky Derby winner, Medina Spirit, might get his victory overturned because his second drug test came back positive.
4. Did he say?
Yeah, I have to look again. And
some steroid. We're not spending a whole
Yes.
lot of time on this, but some steroid. It's determined, it's positive, it's confirmed. Chances are not going to have the Kentucky Derby win anymore. But in this segment, we're gonna get past the horse race. We just had to.
Yeah, I had to get that in the list.
Wait, hold on.
It is all sports.
the steroid is called Bet. No, I'm trying to figure out how to say it.
Hold on. Was the steroid to the horse or to
Yes.
the, so he put the steroid to the horse?
Yes.
To the horse.
Betamethasone.
Is that just like a steroid or something?
Yeah,
I would
it's
assume.
It's an anti-inflammatory contosteroid or something.
Okay, well,
You can look up the article on CNN.
It's not that important.
He's going to have his win taken away. But we did have some breaking news earlier today with the Boston Celtics. Danny Ainge is stepping down as the president, and Brad Stevens is transitioning to the front office as the president of basketball operations, and now they need a new head coach.
Why can't he do both?
Do you want Brad Stevens as a coach? He's not that good.
I'm not a Celtics fan. I don't really care. But
I'm not a Celtics fan either, but I think he's one of the more overrated coaches in the entire NBA. What's up, Chirp?
What's up, Chirp?
Come on.
Well, we got.
Spit it out.
I just want. I don't know. I think it might go to a story later today, so I don't want to say too much. But I'll just say the sequence of events are starting to unfold in some levels.
Okay, well, we'll touch on that in a
I'll
little
say that.
bit.
Basically saying it.
Actually, next segment we'll be talking on
next
that other
segment.
one. But the Celtics, what are they? I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know either.
How would you, I guess, grade the Celtics in their last era under this regime of Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens?
C minus.
C minus? I'm probably
I'll give
about
it a
there
C.
with you.
They got some of the picks were right. You got Jason Tatum, that was good.
Jaylen Brown.
I guess Marcus Smart. Kemba, if he can stay healthy like the whole season.
Well,
Those some good picks.
Kemba,
The failed trade for Kyrie Irving, the failed signing of Gordon Hayward.
Yep.
It seems like they've had a lot of failed signings, but
like 50-50.
over the
and
past,
Jeff Green.
over the era that you're talking about,
Actually, no,
were
that was
they
under.
usually in the playoffs?
Yes.
Yes.
They were in the playoffs, but
Usually knocked out early.
Well, they made it to the conference finals against us in 2017 and 2018.
Well, they went.
But they
to,
didn't win, did they?
No.
Because I'm looking at, the only thing I see is their last conference title was 2010.
Yep.
Yep. But last time they were there was last season.
So they've had some success.
Correct.
Me not knowing a lot about the team and like these specific players, to me that sounds somewhat successful.
Yeah, but except the Celtics are tied with the Lakers for the most titles all time with 17. Their last title came in 2008, and they haven't been. And the last time they made the finals was 2010.
You know what it comes down to? I'm a Cleveland fan, so my expectations are smaller, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
To me, like, if that happened in Cleveland, we'd be, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, the way I see it is that the Celtics have been criticized, and rightfully so, for just hoarding draft picks and not pulling the trigger on trades to get that superstar player to add to their team.
As well as forcing some fits
But I
to
can see, like-
teams.
What did you say?
He said as well as forcing fits to some teams.
Like forcing players.
Forcing players.
Like free agency trades and stuff.
But they were rumored multiple times to be in the mix for some of these big players, but they always bow out at the end. And it always seems like they're more focused on having the draft capital than having the actual players. Well, at some point the picks have to become players, and
Which did
You look at
happen for a later
OKC.
story.
OKC's doing a good job. They got
Yeah.
the picks. They turned.
I mean, but they're
Same
in
with
teardown mode.
Same with Houston.
So
Houston too.
Boston was actively doing this while trying to compete, and so
Right.
they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. You can't do that. You got to pick one or the other, and if they would have just maybe traded for a superstar who was frustrated, I don't know, maybe if they were in the James Harden talk, or if they wanted,
I think they were for a brief
Anthony
period.
Davis.
or Anthony Davis, if they actually would have ponied up the capital to do it, the Celtics would be maybe a different story right now. Maybe the Lakers don't win last year. Maybe the Celtics won last year.
Right.
Maybe they're locking up Anthony Davis to a long-term deal. But it's just about making sure, or I guess going for it when you can. I mean, that's part of the reason why I've always criticized trading back in all sorts of drafts, especially the NFL. Not to get too far off here, but you can't just have all these picks all the time. At some point, they need to become players through either picks or trades.
Right.
Well, here's a question for you. Getting back onto the story, actually, you knowing a bit more, and somebody who reads a lot about this as soon as the stuff comes out. I actually call you Scoop nowadays. We figured that out over the weekend because you scooped me somewhere. Oh yeah, it was the Indians game.
Yeah.
So yeah, your name's Scoop in my book from now on. But so Scoop, what I want to know is, do you think this caught the team off guard?
It doesn't seem like it. I looked into it, and it seems like he's been planning to step down for some time now.
Because what I thought was if it had caught the team off guard, I could understand better if they made a bad choice at that point. Mm-hmm. But if it's something that they've been planning for a while, then yeah, it seems like they've probably made a mistake.
Yeah.
So according to Adrian Wojnarowski, Ainge has been contemplating leaving the job for several months and been talking about possible succession plans with ownership, and apparently
that answers it right there.
Their succession plan is Brad Stevens,
which makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
One of their worst seasons, I would say, in the past few years. Like, they just wasn't looking like the Celtics.
So
no.
So James, going forward, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think Jaylen Brown and Josh Tatum are thinking?
Who's Josh Tatum?
Or Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum. I was thinking about Josh Smith for a sec. I don't know why.
That's
a throwback.
Okay.
I was reading that 2004 draft.
It depends on which coach they bring in. I mean,
I agree with you.
There's a lot of retread names out there. I saw Jason Kidd being named as a possible candidate for the job, and I would have zero interest in playing for Jason Kidd if I was either one of those two. Dwayne Casey just signed an extension in Detroit.
Who do you think it should be?
I have no idea.
How about a young coach?
I have one head in my name, but I don't
go for it.
Mark Jackson. I don't know if it'll fit.
He should. I don't know why he hasn't gotten another opportunity to coach.
How about Jalen Rose?
He wasn't a good coach.
How about Jalen Rose?
No.
I'd rather watch him on TV.
Or Chauncey Billups.
Yes, I agree with you on Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey Billups is an executive. He's not a coach.
I thought he was an assistant coach with the Clippers.
I thought he was an executive. Those front office.
Yeah.
Or Sam Cassell.
Sam
Cassell.
I wouldn't hate that one. He's actually done coaching.
Yeah.
Or Patrick Ewing even. Bring him in.
Patrick Ewing?
Yeah.
He's coaching Georgetown.
Yeah, he's with Georgetown.
Why would a Knicks legend go coach the Celtics?
Yeah, no.
He was raised in Boston.
But he's a Knicks
raised
legend.
in Boston.
Sure, you realize how big of a rivalry Boston and New York is, right?
Not during the time he was there, I think.
Well, here's the thing, though. I just heard James throw out like a couple decent options, and it's not our job. But here's what I'm getting to. It's not our job to know what these options are. It's the front office's job to know what the options are, and obviously they didn't. Or if they did, we're not seeing it. What we see is that it looks like they just went, we'll pick that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I think they partially picked Brad Stevens as their head coach because they saw the success he had at Butler going to a national championship in 2010 and a national championship in 2011. But
I'm not talking about. We're not talking about a head coach job anymore.
I know, but still, I think that's part of the Celtics' reasoning for why they chose Brad Stevens to be their head coach when they did, is what I'm saying. But Mark Jackson did not do a bad job coaching the Warriors.
Mark Jackson has nothing to do with the current version of the Warriors or anything that Steve Kerr's done.
I disagree with you.
Then why doesn't he have a job? If he did, he would have a job. He doesn't.
Because sometimes
that makes sense to me.
But then how come Steve Kerr didn't have a job for a long time?
Yeah.
He was commentating.
Exactly.
But Steve Kerr, this is his first head coaching job. Mark Jackson's been a coach before.
Dave Fizdale was doing.
David Fizdale was a clown. He's horrible.
Yeah, except
I got friends that live in New York that
Pat Riley was commentating during times.
But Pat Riley's actually done something. That's the thing.
Except my pushback on Mark Jackson would be he's the one that really laid the foundation.
No, I disagree. I'm not letting this happen. He had nothing to do with Steve Kerr that installed that offense with all of that movement, all of that passing, all of the focus on the three-pointers and layups. Mark Jackson had nothing to do with it.
No, it was Baron David. It was when they had Don Nelson. Don Nelson.
I'm gonna.
Go back there.
I threw Mark Jackson out there, so I kind of started this, but I agree with James. Like,
So your new nickname is Flamethrower because you just burn the table.
because like Mark Jackson was there when he had Curry and Clay. Like that was just about it. But once Kerr got there, he really set that bar.
Yeah. So
Yes.
with that, we're going to have to go into a commercial. We come back, we're going to be talking more NBA and more basketball, this time some college basketball.
James needs the time to cool off anyway and take a breather.
Let's take a walk.
Would you trade $10 to get almost baseball?
Isaac scores and the Captains walk it off on opening night.
We are the talk of the land. AllSportsCleveland.com. Valley View, Cleveland.
Happy to work.
We are back here on So What's the Catch? And I'm a little bit more calmed down now.
Are you?
I am calmed down. It's just
I still disagree with you on that.
Hey, you know what? I will die on that hill that Mark Jackson had nothing to do with
We
the
agree to
Warriors'
disagree.
success. But it's just I've seen that entire conversation, argument. I've actually taken place in some of those arguments on Twitter before, and
I think you start them.
no, it's
You start some Twitter wars, man.
sometimes. Sometimes just
We need
start.
more
You know, it makes for good radio and good TV, though, good video, whenever you have somebody who has strong opinions. It would be pretty boring if we were all just on here like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Like a certain number
Yeah,
54.
Mark Jackson.
Yeah, Mr. Mac Wilson tweets the tackle ratio, not good. But let's go on to NBA fan problems here, because apparently fans forgot how to behave in stadiums.
Yes,
Yes.
they did.
Yeah, I've been
they
seeing
have.
a lot about this over
And-
this past week.
And it just seems like I remember earlier when we were talking about the whole Kwame situation, and he was talking about just like how people present athletes and like how, and then there's like fans that dehumanize them.
And so the real issue, I mean, it's that, but I mean, it seems like not being in stadiums for a year, fans forgot how to behave.
Yeah.
You're going exactly where my mind
Okay,
went.
because everyone seems like they're just, you know what, I'm at a game, that's a player on a team I don't like. I'm deciding I'm going to be a fool right now and throw something or spit on them.
This stuff has been around for a while.
But the two things I've really noticed about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, first of all, that yes, this one I'm pretty solid on, that people, it seemed like before it was not this bad. So maybe a year of not doing it has got people out of practice. They don't.
It shows, I think, more true colors.
Yeah, I would
showed
agree
more
with you
truth.
on that one.
But the other thought is it? And okay, I get that it's the only big sport going on right now, but do you think this is going to be the same thing with football and other sports when they get going up again?
It could.
I think with that whole bottle gate thing, it like made it whole. I don't know.
It just seems like we could be going into an interesting season if that's the case.
The concerning thing is how quick that these happen in succession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it used to be years in between events like this. I mean,
Like-
everyone remembers the Malice at the Palace.
Yeah,
You know, a
that
long
was probably
time
the
ago.
only one, like in basketball terms, that I've seen. When I watch football or see baseball, I only see like they streak. That's it.
Yeah, there was a streaker at a Nationals game during a rain delay the other
we
day.
all remember like the Gilbert Arenas one, but that's the reason it's such a big memory in everybody's head is because it was an anomaly. It doesn't happen that often. So now it's like in the past week, just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
There's been like stories that even go back to Bill Russell and Kareem of like all these different issues that are going on with the fans and the players.
What are actually some of the details? Because I know a few different things happen, like during the games.
The two that hit me the most that I saw was Russell Westbrook was leaving the game and
He was
they
injured.
He was injured and they dumped popcorn.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
That was the
popcorn.
one,
Yeah.
popcorn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you also had
Trey Young.
getting spit
on, and then Kyrie having a water bottle thrown on him.
Yep.
I know I saw a lot of what I saw over the weekend on social media was a lot of athletes complaining. Well, not even complaining, that's the wrong word, but there were two different takes on it. Some people were looking at it as complaining. Some people were looking at it as having a right to say, you know, something's wrong. And I kind of agree with that side, but I'm just saying there definitely was both sides.
Well, the problem here is the people that are viewing it as complaining are the same people that are in the same boat as the people that like to say shut up and dribble. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're
So
right.
it's those people.
Yeah, you're 100% right there.
and those people can go F themselves.
So I'm kind of new on Instagram, and because of that, like I've followed a lot of people I might not have followed otherwise, just pretty much any sport outlet. But that's kind of how I got this story, and I got it given to me with those two different viewpoints. And it's so obvious which way they're leaning, but
Where does this mindset even come from? Where fans think they can do this?
Most of it's because they can just spout off to anyone on Twitter,
right?
And they think that
they can get away with it.
Twitter's the real world.
I mean, that's getting into an even bigger real world issue at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
because to be honest, if they actually met.
No, go on.
I thought it was something going on. If they met face to face, nobody's really throwing popcorn at Russell Westbrook.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People have gotten so used in this culture. They grew up. We were talking about this yesterday, James.
Yeah.
People who grew up and they've only ever known the internet. Our generation. I'm only 30, but James and I, 32 actually. But James and I's generation, we, in our 30s, we grew up. And for, the first part of our childhood, we didn't have the internet. It was a different time. Things are so different now where you can hide behind a screen and do things like that, that's really, I think that has emboldened people.
Right.
People are just the keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
Keyboard warriors, or I would say scumbags.
So they think they can go to a game, especially after a year of sitting on their couch being Twitter warriors. They think they can go to a game and do whatever they want. There won't be consequences.
So Kevin Durant, after the Kyrie incident in Boston, where the fan threw the water bottle and Kyrie stomped on the Celtics logo at center court and all that, Kevin Durant released a long quote. So he says, fans have got to grow up at some point. He led all scorers in that game with 41. I know that being in the house for a year and a half with the pandemic got a lot of people on edge, got a lot of people stressed out. But when you come to these games, you gotta realize these men are humans. We're not animals. We're not in a circus. You coming to the game is not all about you as a fan. So have some respect for the game and take some respect for these human beings and have some respect for yourself. Your mother wouldn't be proud of you throwing water bottles at basketball players or spitting on players or tossing popcorns. So grow the F up and enjoy the game. It's bigger than you.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking is enjoy. That's the whole point, is you go to the game to enjoy the game. Why are you ever getting that angry at a game?
Right.
Yeah, Katie is completely right on that statement, and sometimes I don't agree with Katie, but when it comes to some of these social issues, I agree with him a lot on that.
Right.
And I wanted to also say another K in KG, the big ticket, now Hall of Famer, talked about Kyrie. I was wondering, I know we don't have this down, but KG talked about him stepping on it and talked about that logo when he played for that logo for the Celtics and how that was disrespectful. And I was wondering, what did you guys think about that?
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either.
I actually do care about this.
I don't.
When I was looking up, so I'll just get out the way real quick so you can go on your tirade, Josh. But when I looked at the Celtics news, this is one thing that popped up, and I literally don't care either. I didn't see the big story.
It's bigger than basketball.
I'll let you go first.
Bigger than a logo.
Yeah, So I know Kyrie's time in Boston did not go well.
Well, you have to explain what happened too.
But it was post-game. He goes to, I don't remember, I think this was before he got the water bottle thrown at him. He goes and stomps on the Celtics logo at center court in Boston. And that's because he had a toxic relationship with a lot of the players and the coaches while he was in Boston. But don't go and disrespect the entire organization.
So the organization, I think, is the one that possibly screwed him over.
Okay, so
absolutely not.
Here's my problem with this whole thing. Okay, first of all, I think it's really just dumb that there's a really conversation about this, number one. Number two, does everyone forget what happened in 2017 when Steph Curry pretended to take a dump over the Cavs logo? Okay.
I didn't know that.
Nobody said anything. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, and this is where I was coming from, and I was about to say this. I don't know a lot of these things, right? Because I missed them. So my thing is, I really don't know what happened with like the Kyrie and the Celtics thing. What even happened there? Like, because I wasn't paying attention to basketball when I was in prison.
I'll direct this one. So what happened was they won the championship in 2016, and then the year after they had trouble. They had trouble. They only won one game in the finals the next season, and then there was like some things with Kyrie and management, and I think it had to do with like the fact that I don't know. I think in his head he probably thought LeBron was stunting his growth a little bit.
All I knew was
perspective. That's what he was thinking. So then a trade. He demanded a trade. A trade happened. Then we got like all these people like Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, and in exchange we gave. And we got Colin Sexton, who we have now.
Yeah, but my point is, what issues did Kyrie have when he was a Celtic?
He did not have a good relationship with the coaches. He did not have a good relationship with his teammates. Like, he wanted to be the man, but even when the Celtics were playing well, he was still complaining about various stuff, and it was just not good.
With the logo thing, yeah, I can see it's disrespectful, but at the same time, I don't want to hear it coming from KG, who was probably one of the biggest trash talkers that got a little bit disrespectful at some point.
Yes.
That's valid.
Yes.
So, like, I don't really care at the same time, because, like, it's going to happen. It's sports. A lot of people do that to everybody else's logo. It's happening in football.
I didn't know all this stuff. Honestly, I had never heard of the whole Steph Curry. What was that? He said that he.
Yeah, I didn't know about
Kevin Durant hit a three to like win the game essentially, or like make it so the Cavs didn't have enough time to score or whatever. Then he.
Wow, I see the picture now. Yeah. That's crazy.
Huh. Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't the center court logo.
It wasn't the center court logo. It was the side logo.
Oh.
It wasn't like the center one, but it was the smaller ones off to the side. But he still did it.
I still remember in 2015, before Game 6 of the finals, the Warriors were like.
I remember that.
They were like the Cavs were practicing like the Warriors championship.
I remember that series.
I do think though why he did it had to do with something a lot deeper.
And what's that?
Just the fan base, like the Boston Celtics.
Well, we kind of got off topic, but you were trying to tie it in with like the fan thing. So are you trying to say like you think that the Kyrie's doing this as a response to a bad fan base?
Yeah, that could possibly have like some racial tensions.
Boston does have a reputation for being a very aggressive fan base, one that makes racist comments very frequently. But we got a little long with this topic, so we got to head to a commercial right now. When we come back, Jeremy's got a football quiz, and we're going to have
I'm really excited.
Random Cleveland Athlete of the Week.
Hang around. Great topics.
I'll never forget that.
Valley View, Cleveland.
All right, we are back here on So What's the Catch, and Jeremy
here
got
at All
us
Sports Cleveland.
So I kind of had an idea. Okay, James and Josh here. We didn't go around the table earlier, but James and Josh, who are always here, and we'll be on video. This video is going up soon later. Are both like football knowledge guys, real good with analytics, and the rest of us. I can only speak for myself, but I've always felt I'm more of a fan, than somebody who's real into statistics.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have a way to see like who knows more. So here's what I came up with. I got a football quiviatriz. Football trivia quiz and football trivia quiz. Wow, that was a tongue twister. And I'm going to give it to you two, and us three are going to judge, because there might be somewhere I think they might be easy enough that you'll both jump in. Some of them are a little bit. I've looked for one. I really kind of worked on this, so you better be ready, because I looked until I tried to find one that was, I felt like medium hardness, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So jumping right into it, and just everybody more than anything, keep your ears open because we're looking for who says it first. Question number 1. I feel like Alex Trebek.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in power.
What Native American language was the Super Bowl 30 first to be broadcast in?
Native American?
Native American. This is one of the ones that was a little bit more random.
Navajo?
Chirk with the steal.
Okay.
Good work, Chirk. I had no idea.
You got a piece of paper in there, Chirk?
His laptop's open.
I just
You know what? I do. I forgot I have
No,
a...
I know a few. I've heard of a few.
Okay.
I literally forgot I had a notebook in front of me, but I'm going to keep score. So, okay,
Okay.
Chirk got the steal on that. Chirk has the first score.
I have a quiz that he's not supposed to be in.
I know my history, guys.
I mean,
You know what? I wasn't going to get it, so.
I'll say this: neither of you knew it, or else I would have let you guys have it. But don't jump in with the answer before them. But if nobody answers it, then it's open.
Okay.
By the way,
So what's the rule here?
Yeah, that's
Just give them a chance to answer,
doing
and then
the
if they can't and you know it, you can steal it. Okay, so next question.
What? I thought it was a quiz.
It was for these two. I'm trying to see who knows more between these two. You don't listen very good, Chirk. What Cowboys' 99-yard run from scrimmage put him in the NFL record book in 1983?
Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, Tony Dorsett.
That was going to James.
Yep, I know.
Can I interrupt the question if I know the answer?
Yes, you can.
Cool.
And that goes for you, too. So this is about quickness, too. It's not just knowledge.
Okay.
All right, so I got to get this wrote down formally. Chirk, James, Josh.
No.
All right.
We're all playing.
Just need scores.
No.
Sure.
Now.
You guys are confusing me, man.
It's very simple.
Just sit and watch.
Just listen.
The primary game is between me and
against you and
James.
Josh.
We're just trying to
Just like
keep score between who knows more because these two are the two analytic guys.
Okay.
But you are helping us judge in case they both jump on it at the same time because it's about speed as well.
Okay.
Now that we have all the rules, two questions into the quiz. But we can, if neither of them know, just to clear it up all at once, you can steal it.
All right.
So Chirk did steal 1, and other than that, we have James 1, Josh 0. Next question. What team hired the NFL's first professional cheerleading squad?
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
James with another one. I feel like James has the quickness definitely more than Josh.
Yeah, he does.
So you're going to have to hope there's some that James doesn't know. Next question. Who was the first athlete to rap at a Pro Bowl musical gala?
Deion Sanders.
I
Deion
actually
Sanders.
did not know that one.
First professional. I didn't know that either. How many, and I got to say, like, James is just taking this like it's nothing.
Yeah. How many questions is it?
This is, next we're going to be on number 5.
I am trying here.
How many of the 5 Dallas teams did Tom Landry take to the Super Bowl were victorious?
I think 3.
2.
2 is correct.
Wow.
And right. So you got one in there.
Yeah.
You just didn't have the right answer.
You're one off.
I had to do some math real quick.
And the thing is, like, I should have realized this was going to happen. This is an experiment, right? But what I'm realizing now is Josh is better with, like, really random stuff.
Well, it's also that, like, I'm made an adjustment in my personal life, so I'm a little bit slower and still trying to get used to the adjustment. I don't really want to get into that, but
It's just an experiment to see who is the official. And in fact, this is just for bragging rights, but it's for the, official So What's the Catch, trivia quiz kingdom.
I'm just saying that's part of the reason I'm...
You still have plenty of time to come back, though, if we can hurry up.
I'm not making...
Okay,
So we put this on Sporacle.
Yes.
What now? Okay, going to the next
Okay, just go to the next question.
Next question. What teams played in the first All-California Super Bowl?
Oh.
All-California Super Bowl.
Chargers and the 49ers.
You are correct.
Oh, Josh is on the board.
Which team has been drubbed in Super Bowls by scores of 27-10, 39-20, 42-10, and 55-10?
Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos.
Denver Broncos.
That goes to
Just waiting for that
That's a
55
James.
number.
Yep, that's...
What NFL team Be ready. We're doing this like no huddle offense.
Yep.
Okay.
What NFL team introduced the no huddle offense during the? I honestly did not know that during the 1980s. Yes, you got it. Wait, no, okay, hold on. What was your answers?
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Buffalo Bills.
You are both wrong.
Oh, it's the Miami Dolphins.
Nope.
Keep reading the question.
What NFL team introduced the no huddle offense during the 1980s?
Oh, that's it.
You know what? Do you have any clue, or anybody got a steal before I give a clue?
You said in the playoffs or Super Bowl?
No.
No, it has.
Trick, are you playing a different game than us?
I think he is.
No, it says what NFL team introduced the no huddle offense during the 1980s? And here's a hint.
Is it the Oilers?
No, it is an Ohio team.
Bengals.
I said there's only two.
Yeah, James got that one.
James officially got that. What quarterback got stuck with the given name? So what quarterback has the name Yelberton Abraham?
I actually don't
Y.A.
know.
Tittle.
Y.A. Tittle.
Yeah, I did not know that one.
What Baltimore Colts great led the NFL in passing in the 1960s with
Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas?
Okay.
Damn.
Commanding 8-1 lead.
What Steelers great was the first wide receiver to be named Super Bowl MVP?
I thought it was Heinz Ward.
Lynn Swan.
Swan?
James is getting a commanding lead at this point.
How many questions are there on this?
I have a lot more, but just
It's 9.
When I get to 10, we'll end.
Okay. What Division 1A? Okay, so I'll just slow this down a little bit. What Division 1A football teams fans cheer for the Yellow Jackets?
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that's Georgia
All right.
Tech.
Hey, that's 10.
Yeah.
All right.
That is the blowout.
Okay.
I can save the rest for another day.
You know,
Yeah.
I concede on that one. I will concede.
Josh, I'm also chalking up this age gap.
Yes.
Some of that is age gap. I do play my fair share of Sparkle quizzes, as he was mentioned. I do have experience playing trivia with like a live buzzer as well.
Yeah.
I used to go to a lot of bar trivia, and trying to do that and be quick while you're consuming beer, quite difficult. But
Oh, so that's kind of like steroids, though, like because he was already pre-prepared for this. I didn't realize
I
that.
also watch a lot of Jeopardy.
I'm not making excuses. He won fair and square. I'm just.
Josh with the good sportsmanship.
I'm just
All right,
I'm just,
shake hands.
I'm just saying, for this week's show, I made a personal adjustment, so it's.
We can play another time too. I like games. And speaking of games,
James, do you think you could beat King of the fourth quarter in the quizzes?
I'm just readjusting.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but we have another chance if everybody will. We have
the random Cleveland athlete of the week, and going baseball this week.
Okay.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Hey, I've gone football, I've gone basketball. It's only natural I go baseball next.
Don't
we are
worry,
moving.
he's
We
never
have now
good-
officially covered every
Okay.
sport.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
on this.
he's never going to do hockey.
What
Yeah.
about cricket?
No, once I find a Cleveland cricketer, I will definitely make him the random
So
Cleveland athlete of the
this
week.
game, this game is actually an original. So what's the catch game that James made up?
Yeah,
so here
I
we
like
go.
it.
He is currently 43 years old and was born in Irving, Texas in 1977.
Manny Ramirez.
No. Okay. He made
Did you say
his-
1947?
1977.
Okay,
He's
I was in-
43 years old. Okay. He is a two-time All-Star.
Two-time All-Star.
Neither time came with Cleveland.
Cliff Lee.
It is not Cliff Lee.
And this is name the Ohio athlete, right?
Name the Cleveland athlete.
Cleveland. So this is somebody who was born in Cleveland.
Oh.
No, someone played for the team.
Or
in Cleveland.
played for the team
Played,
at some
played for a
point.
team in Cleveland.
Okay. And was born in James Posey.
The born in Cleveland's not a thing.
James Posey.
No, somebody
did
who
not,
played in Cleveland.
And it's
James
baseball.
Posey did not play basketball.
I know we got a baseball player.
Yes.
Yes.
And two-time, what was it?
All-star.
Two-time
All-Star.
All-Star in 2003 and 2008.
Okay.
Baseball, two-star, 43. Jim Tomey.
Not Jim Tomey.
I don't know. I'm just throwing guesses out.
Now we're going to start narrowing things down a bit. He played parts of 2 seasons with Cleveland in 2009 and 2010.
Ooh, okay, so I was off arrow-wise, too.
Very good. Him.
No, it's not Carlos Baerga.
Him.
So AJ just pointing to posters now.
Okay, maybe this will help a little bit. Maybe this will help a little bit more. He was a relief pitcher for the Indians, but he was not always a relief pitcher.
Okay, 2009, 2011.
2010.
2010.
Johnny Damon?
Not Johnny Damon, because he was an outfielder, and we're talking about a relief pitcher.
Yeah.
You got anything for him?
That era is rough.
I'm trying to remember who was on the roster.
The only other American League team he played for was the New York Yankees for the second half of 2007.
Jabba Chamberlain.
Not Jabba Chamberlain. The only other American League team he played for was the New York Yankees in 2010 before returning back to the National League.
That's a big
where he is
Travis
much
Hafner?
more notable. No, it is not Pronk.
Somebody who went to the
He
National.
started and ended his career with the same team.
Anybody?
It's not CC Sabathia.
He started his career in Chicago.
Cubs or White Sox?
Which one's the National League team?
Oh, okay, so it's the Cubs.
Started his career with the Cubs, ended with the Cubs. He is most well known for striking out 20 batters.
Kerry
in a
Wood.
game. There we go, Kerry Wood.
And just as an addendum to this, man, this would be great, and we're going to have to go to commercial in like 10 seconds, but just this would be great if we could get phone callers on this, and all we got to do is set up a Skype. But we need to figure a couple things out. First of all, we need to get people listening live, and we have to figure out our stream live because we've had issues with that. But so we always have the video posted up later. If you want to watch our show, definitely check the video. But if we can figure those things out, we need to get that going.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And I was like asking about this thing earlier to people behind the scenes.
I just want to point out,
just don't know.
I'm 2-1 in this quiz right here.
Oh yeah, AJ's dominating.
He's 2-1, but you know what? I'm undefeated as a trivia champion.
So going to commercial though, you are okay. We have to give it. James is undefeated. Going to what do we have coming up next?
We got baseball.
There we go. Very fitting. So we will be back with more baseball.
To allsportscleveland.com, the home of the NEO Christmas Classic.
County Captain.
Back. Oh.
This is everyone's favorite season.
There we are.
All right, there we are.
There it is.
A little bit of a false start
I'm
there.
learning.
Okay.
I'm learning.
We're back here.
Got to just keep failing forward with those mistakes.
Fail
Hour
forward,
2
my
of
friend.
So What's the
Those
Catch here on All
gone.
Sports Cleveland.
Or you know it.
First things first, talking some baseball. I'm just going to mention this real quick. A 1914 Babe Ruth card sold for $6 million. It's the most
that's up there.
expensive trading card ever sold.
There, everybody says this, but I had boxes and boxes of trading cards growing up, and I just wish I still had them because I honestly don't know if I had anything worthwhile there. But I had a lot handed down to me by my stepdad, and he had a big collection. And growing up, I stopped caring about them, and they just kind of got lost in the wind. Nowadays, it's like, man, what if I had one of these cards once upon a time?
I'm going home and I am checking I have a book this big of just full of basketball and football cards.
Yeah, me too. Me
So
too.
I'm
I'm the
going home
same
to check
way.
those.
I got about 30 Michael Jordan cards at home.
It seems like the value of cards is going up.
Yeah. I noticed
Cards
that.
are back.
It was like that since when we had when the pandemic first started.
Yeah, cards are back,
Cards
but
went up in stock.
yeah. So
I think I have more basketball cards
Yeah,
than
I do
baseball
too.
cards.
So, Josh, Giovanni Gallegos, tell me what's going on with him.
Yeah, so the Cardinals were playing the White Sox in Chicago. Giovanni Gallegos, a relief pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, he goes out to pitch, I think it was the bottom of the 7th inning, and Joe West, the umpire,
Jowls.
who had just set the
This is the one we just talked about last week.
Yeah, the umpire who set the record for the most games umpired.
And got booed.
Said, okay, Gallegos, you gotta change your hat, because I guess there was some sort of foreign substance, which I'm not sure what that foreign
So maybe like a tar, resin
Pine
tar,
tar,
yeah.
something.
Or
like-
resin, sunscreen.
Yeah. So,
Lotion.
So this is a real issue.
it is.
At first, I didn't get to this story, and I was looking at it. I didn't understand, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
That is an issue. If a pitcher has a substance like that on their hat, that can make a huge difference.
Right.
And they're starting. first of all, a lot of teams are complaining, and a lot of broadcasts are complaining. But the thing is that it's one of those unwritten rules, one of those kind of things where you don't request the umpire to do anything, because once you do that, you're opening up your own players.
Well, I've seen this a lot more lately. It seems like this has happened a couple times this season.
Yeah. So
yeah, it has.
When you do that, you open up your own team to the other team doing that to your team. And here's the thing: is that every pitcher is doing this. Catchers have substances on their equipment, on their jerseys, behind their shin pads. Position players have it on there too.
And did I hear it right that if I'm right, the rule, they're allowed to have those technically, right?
No,
they're not allowed. Okay,
no, they are not.
You heard wrong.
Okay, I guess I got my mixed up that it's I guess nobody ever says anything.
Nobody says anything. It's an unwritten rule, so it's just one of those, you know, I don't say anything, you don't say anything.
I guess what I'm wondering is why is it becoming an issue now? Like, why are teams doing this all of a sudden?
Because pitchers have been so dominant and offenses become so terrible.
And there have been, 6 or 7 no-hitters?
6 no-hitters, 7 if you count Madison Bumgarner.
So it's almost like a last-ditch effort.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to regulate the game while the game is normally just policed by the players.
Gotcha.
Right.
And so that's one of those nuances that baseball has. Now, if what they should do is find some sort of substance that is allowed and regulate it.
I guess the reason I thought it was allowed was because I listened to players from the 90s and early 2000s, and they were talking about this and saying it's a non-story. We did this stuff constantly.
Yeah, all the time.
And now that makes sense more. So yeah, I guess like you said, they need to figure out if it's going to be an issue, if they're going to keep making an issue about it, then they're going to have to address it.
Right. You don't want to open up a can of worms and make a problem that's like the size of a molehill into a mountain.
It seems like they're making some steps and progress towards a resolution here. 10 minor league players were just suspended for 10 games. Right? Or now it was 10. It might have been a couple. It might have the 10 games mixed up. But some minor league players were suspended for foreign substances. So that could be setting some precedent for the major league level. But that's yet to be seen. But
it makes sense when you talk about how the offense has been so dominant that would be an issue they'd want to watch now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So moving on to our next topic is one that actually comes really close to home for me. The San Francisco Giants are going to be wearing pride colors on their uniforms this Saturday. They're going to be the first Major League Baseball team to actually wear the pride colors on their uniform. They're going to have a hat.
San Francisco?
Yeah, against the Cubs.
So they're going to have pride colors on their hat. They're going to have a patch. So it's going beyond and up and above, above and beyond what the normal of, it's a Pride night. Here's all much stuff that we're selling, but we're not going to wear anything.
Right.
Or you see them. We saw the hockey game.
Well, I was just thinking of that
earlier this year that we talked about.
Yeah.
If you go back to our first or second episode, we covered a story where there was a hockey team who did this, and that was the first. Honestly, that was when I first found out that you were in that community.
Yes.
I don't want to out you, but you've already kind of done it.
Yeah, I'm gay. So
but that was how we found out. Really, and but I remember talking then that it kind of seemed like they were pandering in a way.
Yeah, it's the normal Pride events and Pride nights always kind of seemed like it was pandering to me, because in comparison to games where it's on, let's say, Memorial Day or 4th of July or any of those other holidays like that, they'll wear like American flag themed stuff, or they'll wear on Armed Forces, like Veterans Day, or they'll wear
camouflage,
or they don't play on Veterans Day, but you get what I'm saying, though. They'll wear camouflage stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember. Was there a specific reason they were doing that hockey team, or was it just kind of a random Pride night thing? I think it was a Pride night, wasn't it?
It was the first ever Pride night. It was Penguins against the Sabres.
Their season doesn't play into June.
Right.
Yeah, well, this is Gay Pride Month, though.
Yeah, the Stanley Cup Finals does go into June.
But not every team plays.
Exactly.
So I guess the question I'm getting to with all this is considering it's Pride Month, and maybe they're doing a little bit more than the hockey team did, how do you view this one in comparison to the hockey game?
I'll let you answer this one, and then I have an
Well, the question wasn't for you, Josh.
Yeah, I know. Last I knew you weren't part of the community.
I view this in a better light because I don't feel like it's pandering. I don't feel like it's just a money-grabbing thing. They're actually going to wear it You know what I mean? It's not just we're selling stuff with rainbows on it and being like, "Hey, buy it." They're taking that next step to actually wear the rainbow on the uniform and on the field and during the game. And of course, there are some horrible people on the internet that are mad about it.
No, there's always gonna be.
But
yeah, there's always gonna be.
Haters gonna hate.
Did you say this is the first time MLB that this has happened?
Yeah, this is the first time that they're going to be anyone's wearing Pride stuff on the field in an MLB game.
So at least they're breaking through on that.
It's a very important barrier to break.
I have a question.
Yes.
Other than like Pride Month, or when did the hockey team do it again?
It was like back on our first episode.
Yeah, it was like April, March, something
Would
like
it
that.
be something like if they did it like more often throughout the season in any sport, just did that throughout the season?
I think it would be great if they did it more often throughout the season. I mean, and baseball has the perfect opportunity because it plays during June, regular season games where more teams can do something.
Right, I agree.
And they could really do some real good for the community.
Yeah.
And put up not necessarily fundraisers, but charity things and stuff to raise money for foundations, because a lot of those organizations that deal with the gay community are very underfunded.
Yeah. I was at the Monsters game when they did Pride Night, and the only thing I really noticed was that the Monsters logo on the Jumbotron was in rainbow to support LGBTQ community. Yeah. They weren't wearing special jerseys or anything like that, but when I went to the Monsters game for breast cancer awareness night, it might have just been cancer awareness night in general, I don't remember exactly, but they were wearing pink jerseys.
And so it's kind of interesting that for gay night for the gay Pride night they didn't do that, where the other nights. So I get
that's why I feel sometimes these events are pandering.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they're not actually genuinely interested.
I want to say when the funds go are going to the organizations, you want to see where all the money goes. Mm-hmm. So just post that out to the.
Wasn't there?
Make sure it goes to the right place.
I just feel from a straight perspective that it's the thing that I see from this is always that it's good that there's this happening, because for kids that are jocks and that are into tougher sports, that's always been a stereotype. You don't want to have gay guys around. Mm-hmm. So the more you do things like this, the more you bring that to be a normal thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that the UFC women's bantamweight and featherweight champion Amanda Nunes, she is married to a woman?
I did not. Is that something they publicize a lot?
She announced it, I think, when she won the championship.
But that's just because I watch it. But.
Yeah, I don't know that's something they publicly say all the time, but
they both fight too.
Yeah.
I just know from that's all I think, is that at least it's kind of getting the topic out there more, because I grew up with a lot of kids who were secretly gay and back in the early 2000s were in the closet because it was a lot less accepted. And they played sports or whatever, but they didn't want to come out as gay.
Right.
So it seems like the more things like this going on, that maybe that it brings out at least a little bit more acceptance.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a player recently who was in the NFL that's gay?
Michael Sam?
Yeah, Michael Sam.
That was the last one that I. And then there was Jason Collins in the NBA.
Jason Collins in the NBA. Let's put it this way. There are a lot more active players that are gay, male and female, than a lot of people know about, and they choose to keep it private because of
what I brought up.
What you brought up, they'll get
stigmas.
They'll get harassed, and it's very much unfortunate. And we got to head to a break here, and then when we come back,
by quick.
Yeah. That was a quick conversation there. But when we come back, we're going to be talking a whole lot of football.
Home of the NEO Christmas Classic.
Coming up or something?
Hello and welcome back to So What's the Catch? You got a match coming up?
No.
Do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yesterday on our show, we were actually talking about weird championships. Remember that?
What's Josh's wrestling name?
Josh is not so much a wrestler, but what he is good at, we talked about it yesterday, he's really good at wife throwing. He is the world wife. We're going to enter him in the competition. We got to get him the wife first, but then we're going to get him into a wife throwing competition.
Yeah. So
did you pick one yesterday that you wanted? I thought the chest one.
I don't know.
I thought you said you wanted to do the chess one. What was it?
I don't remember.
It was like combative chess or something, and you said you think you could do that.
I never said that.
Yeah, I feel like we'll have to go back to tape. But anyways, unrelated.
Maybe I did.
Unrelated.
It doesn't matter.
James.
All right.
Sorry.
Jeremy, you said you had a list of CBS division winners for us.
You're exactly right. I have this.
You.
I'm all over the place. I have this list from CBS, and it's their division winners, and I kind of want to go over that, but at the same time, let's see what we think compared to them. All right. So starting in the AFC East. They picked, and also with this, it was interesting, they had a confidence level that went along with it, and it looks like it's out of 10. Yeah, so out of 10, they also rated their confidence level in this.
All right.
So with the AFC East, and I agree with this one right off the bat, but AFC East, Buffalo Bills, and their confidence level was a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with Buffalo.
Yeah.
In that division, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of an argument.
There's the Dolphins could surprise you, though.
Dolphins maybe, but they would be the one that you're not giving.
That would be the one outlier you're going to have to look for
It
there.
depends on Tua's improvement.
And who did the Jets have? The Jets?
No.
No.
Jets stink. That year in, year out, they stink.
We'll see about New England.
Yeah, I mean, do you think New England's ever going to be a powerhouse again?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like yes, the answer is
not
if they have the greatest coach of all time still at the helm.
Yeah.
Do they though? You know.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they do now. But
he's going to have to prove that now.
Yeah.
I say they take a few years off and then they get back to it.
But that'll be something interesting to see in that division
They'll
too.
be back, just not to the same extent they were.
So going into the AFC West, then this is another one. Kansas City.
Yeah.
9 out of 5 for them, and that's another real easy one.
9 out of 5?
9.5 out of 10. I'm sorry, 9.5 out of 10. I said that wrong.
Okay.
Now we get into one that you might have a little bit more questions on.
Okay.
AFC South?
AFC South. They have, with a confidence level 7 out of 10, Colts. You look a little peculiar or perturbed by that pick, Josh.
I think James knows where I'm going to go with this.
Is it Carson Wentz?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
You're going to pick the Titans.
Absolutely not.
Then who are you picking?
No, I'm picking the Colts, but they should not be. The Colts should not be in the AFC South.
This is a different conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. But so you like the Colts, though?
Yes.
Overall.
Yes, I do.
Give me the Titans.
Yeah, I feel like AFC South, I'm going with the Titans.
If they add Julio Jones, I will let Tennessee.
I just don't trust Carson Wentz.
He's a turnover machine. The guy, he's a mess.
Before he got injured, his best season was with Frank Reich, who's the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
I did like Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz had a good season after that injury. I looked at him. I think he could still bounce back, in my opinion.
So who are you, what official pick are you putting in, Chuck?
I am going to, depends on where Julio goes, but as of right now, I would probably say the Titans.
And to be fair, these are preseason, Everybody understands that.
Yeah.
AFC North. Now here is an interesting one because they
Browns.
They actually gave it to the Browns, and I thought
Browns.
this is why I kind of pulled this. This is
Thank
CBS
you.
national site. This wasn't Cleveland CBS. This is national CBS story.
Thank you, CBS.
They picked Cleveland. Their confidence level is only a 6 out of 10 though. So they're basically saying we picked Cleveland, but it's questionable.
6 out of 10's fair.
I mean, I think that 6 out of 10 comes from the Freddie Kitchens time when we were very hyped.
I think it's more about the competition they're facing in that division.
The 6 out of 10, I can tell you where it's coming from. It's coming from the fact that there's an adjustment that happens to teams that run the offense the Browns do. Year 2, there's always a dip. And every single team that has ran this style of offense.
Yeah.
So what is dip going to be and how much is it going to be?
I mean, we upgrade on defense, so.
But this is an offensive thing I'm bringing up.
And the thing with me is, before I can definitively say, yes, I think the Browns are going to win the division, they've only had one successful season. I need to see them do it.
Prove it again.
Speaking of last season, though, I just feel like the AFC North was so competitive.
Yeah. So, but
even then, it wasn't like the Browns had a good season, but it wasn't like that by any means they were better than the Ravens.
We barely made the playoffs.
Yeah.
We had to win that last game to go to the playoffs.
Yeah. Until I see the Browns consistently good, I'm giving it to the Ravens. John Harbaugh has been awesome since he's got hired as their head coach. Not sure fully about Lamar, but they've improved their wide receiving core. They're usually really good on defense. So
this one, for official lock, you are staying with the Ravens.
Yes.
So Josh has the Ravens. James.
Browns at a 5.
What he said.
AJ's taking Browns. Chirk.
I'm gonna have to say that the Browns are going berserk this season.
Is that your official berserker pick this week?
The berserker?
Just the Browns, period?
I will get to later of who the berserker of the week is.
Okay.
I want to give it to the Browns, but
I'm going to give it to the Browns just because if there was ever a year to give it to the Browns, this feels like the year. But I do feel like they have to prove it.
Yeah, I'm just haven't seen enough.
They're still in a position to prove it.
Me the money.
NFC East.
Oh God.
NFC East.
Washington team. That's the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants.
So the CBS pick with a confidence level 6.5 is NFC East. Is the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Was it called a team, for instance?
The only thing I gotta say is get yourself a name already. But other than that, I think Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
Yeah, Washington. Chase Young.
Is there any other storylines out of that division you're even really curious about?
The Eagles, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what the Eagles are going to...
The correct answer is Dallas.
I mean, yeah, James is jumping on Dallas.
Dallas. Dak Prescott will be back, and Dak Prescott is a stud.
Is Amari Cooper coming back?
Zeke. Well, Zeke's also a stud.
How about Amari?
What about Amari?
What about him?
Jalen Smith on the defensive end.
What about him?
You're just naming guys.
What about these players?
No, I'm just saying all those players being healthy, like that's.
That'll make a huge difference. And what we saw out of Dak before he got hurt last year was some amazing football.
And that all goes back to it being preseason, because again, so you're going to have to just assume at this point everybody's healthy.
And on the hot seat, Mike McCarthy.
Oh yeah, he's always in the hot seat. But
so
for
final lock-in choices, did you have Washington?
Yes,
Josh?
I have Washington, but there is a storyline with the Giants because we don't. Daniel Jones is
real quick.
Daniel Jones is in his 3rd year. He was the number 6 overall pick. So
keep your eyes on the Giants.
Yes, and they improved their wide receiver core.
James, final pick.
Dallas.
AJ.
Washington
and Chirk.
I'm going with the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts could be some name that might make more headlines.
Chirk out of nowhere saying that the trash can Eagles from last year are going to suddenly become now the trash can.
Just look out for the Giants. That's all I will say.
NFC West.
Man, you'll eat those words when the season goes on.
Rams.
NFC West.
Gotta be Rams.
They have a very low confidence level, 5 out of 10, but they do have picked CBS the Rams.
It's like these are all low confidence ratings.
Well, this is this whole division.
The NFC West is the best division in the NFL.
Where's
no?
So we got the pick from.
In Russell Wilson, he's still trying to look to get out of Seattle, right?
I don't think so.
But this is just as the roster as is. So think of it that way. So they picked the Rams at what, 5?
They said 5 out of 10. So basically, they're not very confident. That's the lowest rating so far.
I would say Rams at a 6. Only because Kyle Shanahan's a good coach, and I don't know what's going to happen up in San Francisco.
Switch out quarterbacks, basically. With
Rams?
Yeah,
they got Matthew Stafford now.
I'm going with them Rams.
Yeah,
I take the Rams because I don't see anybody else to take.
Yeah, it would be 49ers maybe. Maybe you're expecting a big leap from the Cardinals.
I don't see either of those happening.
I'm going Cardinals.
Murray.
Chirk with the Cardinals.
I will go Rams.
And we have Rams.
I'm going
NFC South.
Tampa.
This one's easy.
Tampa.
NFC South. Tampa.
10 out of 10. Yep.
They are 9.75
out
out
of
of
10.
10.
Tom Brady play for?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna go with that.
They brought back all their stars from last year.
I learned not to bet against Tom Brady because every time I do, he wins. So.
Just a real quick thought on this, though. The one thing I'm real curious with this division, not even about the division, but just with that team, is seeing that the return game with the Patriots this year.
I'm kind of,
The one team I'm really interested in with this division the New Orleans Saints. What are they going to look like now that Drew Brees is retired?
That's a good question.
And if Jameis Winston is the real deal, this is his second chance here. Same with Sam Darnold on the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about the Saints, sneaking and winning a division at this point.
No.
But it will be interesting to see what they do, especially because they haven't really invested anything yet.
Exactly.
So last but not least, NFC North.
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
They say Green Bay, right? But their confidence level is very, very low. And I'm not sure why.
They don't know whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to play for them.
That is a big question. So that if you're factoring that in,
What's their confidence level?
1.2.
That's exactly why.
Yeah,
Aaron
that's
Rodgers.
So
that's 100% why.
How do you think about the Lions with Jared Goff?
No.
No.
I've heard.
No.
Fourth place. Fourth place in the division.
The only other team I could see competing for that division, if Aaron Rodgers isn't in Green Bay, is Minnesota.
Or the Bears.
That's the wrong answer. It's the Bears.
The Bears were in the playoffs.
CBS pointed out that basically every other team in that division has major flaws that are going to sink them. So even though you got to wonder what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, you just got to go Packers.
Yeah. So, one quick thing on Aaron Rodgers. People are suspecting that the reason the Madden 22 cover athlete hasn't been unveiled yet is because it's Aaron Rodgers, and they're not sure.
Wouldn't that be fitting?
Theory.
I mean, they're not sure if he's going to play for the team. That doesn't stop them before. They had Brett Favre on it, and they had two different covers with Packers and the Jets.
That's what I'm hearing as a rumor. I can't confirm anything.
Well, whoever you got a bad source.
I'm going Green Bay. I like the.
I like Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah, but Green Bay.
A lot of people don't know.
Aaron Rodgers there, Green Bay.
Chirk Lesman. Okay.
All right, we got to head to a break, and we come back. A very, very prominent face in college basketball is no longer coaching.
Are you tired of renting, but the idea of owning a home? The flagship home of Lake County Captains Baseball.
Isaac scores, and the Captains walk it off on opening night.
We are the talk of the land. AllSportsCleveland.com, Valley View, Cleveland.
And we are back from the commercial, and as I said before we went to the break, the coach has retired, or going to retire. Mike Krzyzewski, coach of Duke, will be retiring after the season.
So, yeah, there's an interesting theory that's been going on with specifically with the sequence of
Hit me with your theory, Chirk.
with the sequence of events.
I love conspiracies.
With the Kyrie went to Duke. Kyrie played for the Celtics. So I'm wondering, with him doing that, I'm wondering if he might know some behind the scenes stuff about them.
Was the shooter in the grassy knoll?
No, like behind the scenes, like stuff about Coach K and possibly the GM Danny Ainge.
I'm trying to understand the connection, and I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I'm having trouble here.
I'm lost.
Can you try and explain, please?
Yes, I'm wondering if there's some, I don't know, they treat certain players this way, and then if they don't like a certain player, they'll treat them like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to I just think it's a coincidence, the fact that with the Kyrie thing and both these people who also knew Kyrie.
Jason Tatum went to Duke.
I was about to say Jason Tatum also went to Duke.
Yeah.
So
I'm so lost. So you're saying this coach knew Kyrie? How does this tie back to our story?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I was just saying if Kyrie, I don't know if Kyrie knows something behind the scenes. Once he retires, he might say something.
And that is why he's in the box.
That's why you're in the jerk box.
I like the Chirk box, but I don't get put into one.
Oh my God.
Nobody puts Chirk into a box.
This was sad for me. I am a Duke fan. Coach K fan too, but it's sad. But hey, he's retiring.
At some point, he was going to have to retire.
He's definitely had a successful career.
How many seasons?
He's 74, right? He said.
I believe so. He's old.
Do you think that with Roy Williams retired from UNC and now Coach K retiring from Duke, is the rivalry between those teams going to be the same?
Yeah. I don't think it's just the coaches' rivalries. It's like history between those teams. So it'll still be there. Probably won't be as intense because Coach K is not there. And
the question is, who do they get replaced with?
Well, Duke they both have been replaced by associate head coaches.
Because it's going to depend on them. Well, if they eventually keep the job and have the job as head coaches.
Right.
Would Grant Hill be a good coach?
That's an interesting one.
Probably.
I think so.
I would say one thing though. I feel like recruiting might go down a little bit just for both.
He's a good recruiter, so that could have an impact on the program.
Like people will still want to go there just because it's Duke. But
I mean, Duke being a perennial school, do you even really see there being any kind of a hiccup with any transition?
Possibly.
There could
be. That it happened to UConn. UConn was one of the most dominant college forces in the early 2000s to like 2010s, and then they fell off.
Well, UConn was the anomaly because they're not a major basketball school. Yeah, they played basketball and they were successful at it for a brief period of time, but we're talking about Duke and UConn.
Except
UConn.
UConn.
Duke.
You do know the UConn women's Huskies won 100 straight games?
Yeah.
Gino Auriemma, head coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not the same. It's not the same. This is a major school.
That produces a lot of talent.
Yeah, I know.
Gets a lot of talent. So
this might get some controversy.
UConn's also produced a lot of talent, but
I just feel like most players are going to Duke because it's Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with what Coach K did while at Duke.
Well, I mean, but he's already instilled that culture there. That's not leaving.
Yeah.
He's left his mark on that school.
100%.
He's retiring. But that system's still in play. So I think if anybody got the offer this year to go to Duke, they're not thinking, I don't know, because Coach K's not going to be there. I feel like you're still going because it's Duke.
Right. Yeah. I would love to go to a Duke UNC basketball game. That's like one of the things at the top of my bucket list.
Groovy.
It's Duke and UNC. So
you have a very minimal bucket list.
No, I actually don't.
Like at the top, like we're at the top, like top 5, top 10.
Top 10. My number one is.
What is your number one?
My number one item in terms of sports bucket list. Seeing a game at Wrigley.
Oh,
how many bucket lists do you have?
I thought it was just one.
You only have one bucket list. You can't have bucket lists for everything. It's one bucket list.
Okay, then.
It's in the definition.
Bucket list number one: seeing a Cubs game at Wrigley.
Okay. I'm glad we know that.
Right. Okay.
Maybe next week we can find out number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a segment now.
Josh's bucket list.
If you want to.
Does anyone have anything else to say about Coach K retiring?
No, I really don't. I mean,
you're sad.
It's the end of an era.
It is, for sure.
Yeah. You had a good run.
I did visit Cameron Indoor when I was in North Carolina a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I had a good run.
So,
other than that, have fun, Coach K.
Yep, good career. A hell of a hair dye job.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking through the rundown here that we got.
Are you gonna miss him on 2K guiding you?
No, I'm so done. I am so done with the 2K games. I'm so done.
Like when you first started to play the game, you had to learn the tutorial, whatever. He was on it.
I am so done with the 2K games.
Yeah, he was in 2K. He was he was helping with 2KU or whatever for
So I know one thing.
Start up the menu or whatever.
For the past couple weeks, we had been doing pet peeves, and Josh had done one, I had done one, so now James, it's on you. Do you have, if not, we'll see if somebody else does, but do you have a major pet peeve when it comes to sports?
Ooh, pet peeve when it comes to sports is the downplaying of culture by the analytical community.
Yes.
Because there are such things as having a culture on a sports team or a locker room and having good culture guys. A lot of times those get overlooked. There's one individual on the internet, I'm not going to say your name, but he likes to take shots at Jarvis Landry at every moment in time, and it drives me insane because you're looking for a culture leader, a glue guy, one of those guys that leads a team. It is Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. Bless him.
I remember seeing that in Hard Knocks.
When you're speaking of culture, don't you think that that's really what the biggest turnaround with the Cleveland Browns has been?
I mean, that's something that's helping a lot. Is their culture's improving.
And chemistry is part of this culture, right?
Because that year where, they were so hyped up and they came out and they stumbled over their own feet, you could see where there was so much dissension underneath Freddie Kitchens, where they were getting these stupid penalties left and right, and that has really gone away. I mean, everybody gets a stupid penalty every now and then, but it's not excessive like it used to be.
Right.
And you look at some of the better teams in the NFL, especially over the past 20 years or so, and it's the same couple of teams because they have good cultures. They're also stable, but they have good cultures. They're able to take on those guys that maybe have those question marks around them with off-the-field issues, and there are not that many instances. I mean, there is the one major instance up in New England, but
I was just thinking of that.
But for the most part, teams like the Patriots, the Steelers, the Ravens, they've been able to take on guys with those character flaws and bring them into their system and keep them in line, keep them in check.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
anybody else got a pet peeve?
Yeah, I got
one.
I got
you
one.
got one?
Oh, you got one?
Yeah,
Cool.
I would say just like objective media, just in particular, some like how analytically and as well as just like talking about like what these people go through, like the fact.
So your pet peeve is the media.
I think it can improve.
Aren't we the media?
We are the media.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but I'm just like saying like how.
Is there something in particular that makes you feel this way?
Yeah, just sometimes how they'll like talk, like throw some athletes' names down sometimes, and sometimes it's true. I mean, that's also goes. Yeah, I think sometimes like talking about someone's name and not inviting them on like the show or whatever.
So does that kind of relate back to like Kwame Brown and
little bit, yeah.
some of the stuff he was saying?
Yeah, I know that was like from.
Okay, so you're like alluding to the Kwame Brown situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and he's kind of like talking about how like what's going on with like the media and like just how there's like how nowadays there's like YouTube media and like independent like versus like big like ESPN.
It's almost like
and then
being
there's, like radio too.
Being a paparazzi anymore. It used to be like that was an unrespected thing, and now it's everybody's doing that kind of media.
I mean, there are a few outlets which are just absolutely unbearable to deal with, and especially the ones who like to dabble in other things that are not sports related. I'm not a stick to sports person.
No, we don't always stick to sports.
No, obviously, we've discussed some other things that are non-sports related, or on the outside of sports adjacent. But there are some that just decide to go into some of those things that they have no business talking about.
Hot button issues.
Yeah,
and it's very frustrating to see. And you know what? Their goal is to get engagement and clicks, so mission accomplished for them.
Views.
And it really comes down to the fans, though, because the goal is to get those clicks. So, unfortunately, you have to put the emphasis back on, if nobody clicks, they don't get paid, and those pages go away.
Right. So you gotta bring up controversial topics and stuff like Jake Paul or Logan Paul.
Exactly, and I don't know if I would even consider them controversial. It's just entertainment stuff.
But speaking of Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they both have big fights coming up.
They do.
Starting with Logan on Sunday, who's fighting the undefeated Floyd Money Mayweather.
So basically, alternative headline, hopefully that dude gets jacked up this weekend.
It's like a punching bag.
But who knows, right?
I'm going to predict something here. Floyd Mayweather wins.
Who knows, though, right? Because that's what everybody's expecting. If he doesn't win, it's because it was thrown. Because, I kind of feel like that could have already happened with a couple of these matches.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
All right, so Mastradamus here saying that Floyd Mayweather's going to win. We got to hit to a break, and when we come back, we got a little bit more stuff to wrap up here. But you know what? Come check us on the other side of the break. All right, here we are. We're back for our final segment of our wonderful 2-hour show here on So What's the Catch on
I think
All
we should
Sports Cleveland.
We should create our own station ID.
You could go ahead and create your own station IDs and all the commercials and runners and all that other stuff. That's all you, Chirk.
Then we don't. Then we're not. A team.
then we're not going to do it.
Then we're not a team.
Didn't we make some commercials?
We did.
Yeah, we have some commercials somewhere, but they're not right anymore.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, true.
We'll look into them. We'll get some stuff put together for the future, probably, maybe.
Better reel it back in here.
But figured we'll talk about the NBA playoffs and how things are going right now to end our show today. And I'm going out of order on this, so I'm just gonna start with this. Did anyone see what the Suns did to the Lakers last night?
Yeah.
I just saw it was a blowout.
What that? Bleep that out. Bleep that out.
Devin Booker.
That was a beatdown.
That was. I was watching Inside the NBA. I agree with Charles Barkley. They do not win without Anthony Davis.
No,
they're not.
No.
But
oh, you thought I was going to say Miles Bridges?
No.
Mikhail.
No, I just ignore him when we talk
What was the final score in that game?
A lot to a little.
I know that I saw halftime. I was going through, and it was like a 30-point deficit.
Oh, I went to bed at halftime, so I'm like, this game's over.
And I knew it was over at that point, of course.
I was watching that game, and I was just like, this wasn't even competitive. This is a 115 to 85.
Yeah, 115-85. But the game I want to get to more is Game 5 between the Portland Trailblazers and the Denver Nuggets.
I watched that.
They go into double overtime. Denver ends up winning 147-140. But the story of the game, Dame Time. Puts up 55 points, a NBA playoff record, 12 3-pointers, and the Trailblazers still found a way to lose.
Yeah, Austin Rivers said who guarded him that night. How could I guard him? Making all these just contested shots.
There was some errors that Portland did that just shouldn't happen. Like Covington had 2 dunks. I don't know why. On one of them, I don't know why he tried to just throw it down. He should came down, went back up, did a layup. Something.
McCollum stepped out of bounds in the waning seconds.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a good game though.
I'm not even a Trailblazers fan, and I'm furious with the Portland Trailblazers. Your All-Star has a record-setting night, and you still find a way to lose.
I think that hurts them going into the next game though. So it takes a lot out of you.
I did want. Speaking of the series that's still going on right now, because of the fact they don't have a point guard, does this make up for help Nicola's MVP campaign?
It's the playoffs, doesn't count.
Yeah, the votes have already been casted. But do you think Damian Lillard should leave Portland?
No.
I said that before. I said either yes. It's 50-50 for me. 50-50. I say yes, and then I say no. Like, he's not that type of player.
I'm with AJ on that.
I say no. Let's see what else we got here. 76ers lead the Wizards 3-1. Joel Embiid is out tonight.
Oh, Wizards win again.
Yeah, Wizards might win again.
Wizards get another one.
Wizards get another one? No Embiid for the Sixers?
Is Simmons there, though?
Yeah, Simmons is still there.
Is Harris there?
Yes.
Then
Harris going to have to step up.
Games in Philly.
I think Harris had to step up. Ben just going to have to knock down free throws, because if it come down, they're going to start fouling Ben.
Yeah, and Ben taking any sort of jump shot's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Any sort of shots on a dunk or a layup, this has
or a pass.
They still got Danny Green, right?
Yeah.
So
there's more of a chance of pigs flying than Ben Simmons hitting a jump shot.
That is.
That's aggressive.
So we have Josh calling out Ben Simmons now. We used to be Chirk wanting to fight peoples. Now it's Josh.
No, I don't want to fight Ben Simmons. I just want to see him have a consistent jump shot.
I'm pretty sure I heard you want to fight him.
No, we all heard. Yeah, we all heard it. Okay.
I'm putting it on the list.
No, I'm not playing Ben Simmons.
All right, so how about this? The Hawks are up 3-1 against the Knicks. Man, I feel bad for Knicks fans.
I don't.
I feel bad.
Yeah, I feel bad too.
Why do you feel bad?
And I'll also explain why I don't as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why I feel bad for the Knicks fans. Their team was actually kind of good for the first time in a long time. They actually made the playoffs. They actually seemed like they had a decent matchup against the Hawks.
A very competent team.
Yeah.
Now they're down 3-1. Here's why I'm not. Don't feel bad for them. They are the most loud people on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Besides for Cowboys fans.
No.
That was the best burn ever.
Knicks fans are loud. They're kind of entitled.
Yeah, they are.
Even when the Cowboys are 1-15, they still think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
We're not talking about the Cowboys. We're talking about the Knicks.
I'm telling you why Knicks fans are or Cowboys fans are worse than Knicks fans.
They're not. It's
yes, they are.
Knicks fans are worse. That's like it's almost like a stereotype that they make everywhere.
The elite group of unbearable fan bases on Twitter. It is Knicks fans. It is Warriors fans. U of M football fans. Michigan.
Now the Cowboys do have a place in there.
Yeah, they do.
Cowboys are in there, but they're on the bottom end of this tier.
I couldn't disagree with you more.
No.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, Knicks fans are terrible.
I think it's Knicks fans.
So as an actual fan, without them actually feeling entitled to being loud on the internet, I feel bad for them. The fact that they're loud and annoying on the internet, I don't feel bad for them.
I cannot wait until Trae Young steps onto the court and they win.
So, do you think Trae Young will do like what Reggie Miller did back in the 90s?
Something.
Spike Lee in the audience.
So, you don't think the Hawks are going to join the Falcons or the Georgia Bulldogs in blowing a lead?
No, not this one. No, the Knicks are overmatched. Tom Thibodeau overworked that team the entire season like he always does.
And
I think Julius Randle led the league in minutes. That's insane.
Kind of disappeared. RJ's been quiet.
They're all gassed. I mean, we saw this happen in Chicago multiple times. He would play everyone so many minutes, like the most minutes possible.
It's crazy because the only one that don't look like tired is Derrick Rose.
So he's coming off the bench.
So you think Thibodeau should go?
No.
Thibodeau's a fine coach. He's a good regular season coach. He's an awful one in the playoffs.
And can Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, can they both please develop some other aspect of their game other than going left? Because that's all. That's all they know. It's ridiculous.
They're left-handed. It's their dominant hand.
No, RJ Barrett is. I believe RJ Barrett is actually right-handed.
He's left.
And
we have a computer in the room.
Yeah, we got.
He never goes right. He should.
I'm looking it up now because I'm curious.
So while we have
he's left-handed. He's left-handed.
He's left-handed.
And Julius Randle, no chance. But RJ Barrett has a chance to go right at some point. Let's see.
Julius is big. He can move you, but
we got two more series here. Jazz lead the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are done, right?
Yeah, the Grizzlies are done.
3-1.
It's a young team. They'll be back in a few years.
Yeah.
But Jazz.
John Morant's fun.
The only way they win is if Donovan doesn't play.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they won Game 1.
And we have Clippers, even the series with Mavericks.
I got the
2-2
tonight. If the Mavericks don't win, I will be upset.
You don't? Okay. Who do you think wins the series? The Mavericks?
Yes, that's what I got. I got the Mavericks winning.
Sure.
I got the Mavs. I don't think playoff P can be playoff.
If Kristaps can play like Kristaps, then they win.
I think this is less dependent on what the Mavericks do and more dependent on what the Clippers do, because the Clippers are the all-time letdown playoff team. Just all the time. It doesn't matter who's on the team; they're just the all-time letdown playoff team.
Ever since their franchise started.
Pretty much.
So if they show up, you see a game. If they show up, I mean, you see that they have a decent chance.
If they actually play up to their potential, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they will. I mean,
Two superstars on your team, so
It also depends on Luka's health.
okay.
I feel like I like the Mavericks in that.
what was that?
Not getting into it. I'm just gonna let you say the one.
Just one. It's Kawhi Leonard.
Are you
It's
talking-
not Paul George.
No.
Okay.
Paul George is a star, not a superstar.
So overall,
That's fair. That's fair. All-star.
the question I want to get put in stone for this is who do you feel like wins it all this year?
Well, I thought the
At
Lakers
this
could
point.
have done something, but they're on the brink of elimination. But I'm not ready to count them out yet because LeBron James is basically Michael Myers. When you think he's dead, he comes back over and over again. So until they're eliminated, I'm not counting them out.
Yeah, same. I'm not making an assumption until LeBron is eliminated.
We got a Jedi mind thing going on because that's where I was at too. So I feel like it's you can't count out. And I think we're all just so we've been through this situation before. We know what can happen.
I feel like if they get eliminated, I would probably say the Nets are my second favorite pick.
Yeah, the other team we didn't mention was the Bucks because they both swept they both won their series.
I think they're facing each other the Nets.
Yep, the Nets and Bucks are facing each other in the next series.
Do you think the NBA wanted this matchup?
Of course.
That's a great big three versus their big three.
That's a great match.
That comes down to the bench.
But I
think that series comes down to the bench.
I'm gonna have a very weird one for everyone.
I would say, who's your berserker?
My berserker, I see going clutch, Mikal Bridges.
Oh my God! Stop this!
All right, and
so there is Chirk's official
Mikal Bridges going
official berserker.
Congratulations, you just put all the pressure on Mikal Bridges to do well in Game 6 tomorrow night in LA.
Yes, I did.
Good job.
Game 6 is in LA?
Yes.
Yeah. Lakers winning that one.
I gotta like the Lakers.
To that lineup, though.
What was that?
They gotta make some changes to that lineup.
They really do. They played like garbage last night, but
who, the Lakers?
Yeah,
that's gonna be a wake up to them, don't you?
They're gonna come home.
I mean,
their home crowd.
Who started last night?
LeBron's known for that. You know, he goes and gets himself beat up in a game, and then he comes back and he dominates.
LeBron, Drummond, Schroeder.
Casey
I think Kuzma
had to be
Davis
KCP and Kuz. I would say start Harrell at the 4. Keep Drummond in there. Obviously LeBron, Schroeder.
We had one of the Morris twins, LeBron James, Andre Drummond, Dennis Schroeder, Contavious Caldwell.
Oh, that would be, I believe that's Markieff Morris, because I think
it's Markieff.
Yeah, because Marcus plays for the Clippers.
Yeah, it's Dennis Schroeder went 0 for 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's Markieff. He went 0 for 9. KCP shot one shot and he missed.
Yeah, I would say either give Harrell more minutes or start him or something.
So we'll have to see how that develops over the next week and come back and see where we're at next week. But I'm with you guys. I'm keeping my my eyes on the Lakers
until they're eliminated. I can't count out until they're eliminated.
Yeah.
LeBron James had 24 points. The rest of the starting lineup scored 11.
If they get eliminated, who's the favorite to come out the West?
Probably the Jazz or the Suns.
Yeah, I would say
it'd be one of those two teams. Which I wouldn't hate that. Because it would be somebody different.
Yeah, I want a new team. That's why I don't
want a new
want
team
the Lakers. Because I want somebody new.
And then you just know next year LeBron's going to do some reinforcements.
Oh, he's making friends.
Yeah.
He's going to get some friends. He's going to get some more help.
The interesting offseason coming up.
I'm hoping it's somebody else from the Eastern Conference besides Brooklyn, because I don't want a super team of Durant, Kyrie, Harden, Blake Griffin, and all that. Like, that's just not fun to me.
They're beatable, though.
They are beatable. They're not.
Yeah, they're beatable.
They're not like.
And plus, you gotta count in the factor. Everybody's playing every other day. It's a short season, so a lot of injuries have happened. So.
And that team is
a weird
a timber box. All you gotta wait to do is find a match and see.
And it's just like ISO ball every time.
Yeah.
So.
I just want to see new teams that nobody was expecting.
So I think we hit the checklist. We got the games in. We got the berserkers in. Kind of got our picks in.
We got a berserker in, and he's called Big Shot Bridges.
Oh my God!
We have the worst berserker he's ever picked.
You're taking Chauncey Billups' nickname and putting it to Mikal Bridges?
No, that's Big Shot Bob, Robert Dory.
So I think that just about wraps it up.
Big Shot Bob, that's Mr. Big Shot.
Oh, you're right.
Is there anything else that we didn't get to?
There's a couple things, but they're like really long. So I mean,
we'll
pretty much
circle back around eventually.
They're not that important, are they?
I don't think so.
Because I know.
Well, Patrick Mahomes says the only record he wants has his eye on going 20-0, which is preposterous.
Isn't that the same for everybody? I mean, of course you want that. But
yeah, I mean that's really about. That's like the only quick thing to mention is that 20-0.
We'll see, Mahomes. We'll see.
Maybe we'll talk more about that next show.
Coming for you, Patrick.
Just make sure to come back next week. We'll have a lot to get to. This was a busy week, and I'm sure there'll be more going on. So stay tuned in. Hit our Facebook page if you haven't yet. So What's the Catch? And we post new stuff up on there every day, so definitely be on there.
Yeah, follow the Twitter at So What's the Catch.
See if the Lakers lose. See if they win.
We'll see what happens with the Lakers.
Week, huge NBA playoff conversations next week.
Looking forward to it.
See if Mikal could be clutch.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's end it.
Let's end it right there.
Stop right now.
Well, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us here, and please join us next week as we continue to evolve and talk about the biggest headlines and breaking news in all your favorite sports. So for Kramer and the rest of the panel, it was great to be with ya, and we're sure gonna miss ya. But we gotta go. So long, and we will see.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.